I am being swallowed up in whips. Ah! Hello, my name is Emily from Crochet Creations. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy to have you. I like to share about all things fiber arts related, crochet, knitting, design, hobby, anything in that sort. So if that's something that you enjoy, definitely make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification down below. I come out with a podcast styled kind of like this one every other week, and on my off weeks for the podcast, instead, I do other videos, different types of yarn vlogs, trying different fiber art related things, doing some organization, things like that. I recently came out with my sock parade of 1 year of knitting socks and all the socks that I knit within a year, all my statistics for the kinds of socks that I knit. I also have a part 2 to that video where I answered questions about sock knitting habits, things like that. So I'll definitely make sure to link those videos down below and up above so that if you're interested in sock knitting as we are moving into the warmer months and small projects are a must, then you can enjoy those videos too. I have a lot to show you today. Oh my goodness. Cast-on-itis has struck, and I started all the projects. Some of them were planned and some of them were not, so surprise, you'll have some fun new things to see. I do not have any finished objects today, which is crazy. It's been a very long time since I have not had any finished objects to show, but I have started a lot of new projects, so let's move on into whips and I can show you everything that I'm working on right now. Where to start? Okay, so we haven't been doing this very long, but already take 2. My gimbal that I use for filming, it keeps dying on me, so we're just not going to worry about that. Let's get started on all the whips I have. I have so much to share with you. I am being overrun by all of my whips right now. Cast-on-itis has set, and I did not have very much self-control. I had a little bit, but not a lot. So, first and foremost, I want to talk about this really long-term project that I've been working on slowly but surely. Maybe not surely, definitely slowly. This is Find Your Fade by Andrea Mowry. As you can see, it is not very far, but last time I was not even halfway through this lace section and I did more. Yay! Go me! I put in a little bit of time. I'm now to the garter section, and that means that I had to decide what to do about the color fading. I was originally thinking I would fade from this color. This is Sorella yarn, the fall tones from this past year. And I'll just show you the whole fade because it is beautiful. Ta-da! Ceramic is this one. Cashmere is this light purple. This more saturated purple color is called Studio. And then this brown is called Videri. Named after some chocolate. Yummy. So I was gonna do this fade. Beautiful, beautiful colors. And I was thinking I was gonna do from light all the way to dark, just fade slowly, but I need something to make this more interesting because I am kind of getting sick of working on it. I'm getting a little bored working on it. And so I decided that I'm actually going to move from light to dark and then back to light across the whole shawl. So I'm gonna do my color changes twice as often, which I'm looking forward to, which means this very next section of garter that I just barely started, I'm like 2 rows in, I'm going to be switching to my brighter purple color. So it'll be really exciting to see how this goes as I'm working on it. I think that fading the colors into each other more frequently is going to make this a more exciting project for me, especially because it's been on the needles for a long time already, and now that I'm comfortable with the decreasing and the shaping and the patterning for right now, it's gotten kind of boring, to be honest. It's nice to have something easy and simple to work on, but I do have other projects that I've been gravitating more towards, and so I need to be able to make time for this. So I'm trying to fall back in love with this because I do love it and I'm excited for the outcome, but it just hasn't been a priority, and because of that, I just have kind of fallen out of love with it. So I need to spend some good time working on it and loving on it again. That is the plan. I'm happy to report I do have some progress, and hopefully next week there'll be even more progress and I'll have faded in that other color as well. So I'm excited about that. Making some progress. I think these stitch stoppers are from Odd Knots and Threads. Super cute silicone stick on really well. I haven't really used them for my really small needles, but they work really well for US 3s and up sizes is what I've typically been using them for. So that was my accountability. I also want to show you, I'm kind of leading up to the big things and the new things I want to show you. I want to show you my Bolero pattern that I was working on for a custom order that someone placed when I was at a farmer's market doing a booth there, and it ended up not fitting if you haven't seen me talk about this already. So I've had to make some changes and adjustments to make it fit better. And I did one side, I added some rows. So you can see most of it is worked this way. That was the original Bolero, and now I'm just widening the panels by going back and forth like this. And I seamed up this edge so that I'm ready for a sleeve. And on this side, I'm almost done with widening the panels. It's coming along. I don't really want to work on this anymore. It's taken a long time. I've decided I'm done doing custom orders, and so I don't know. I'm ready to not make this anymore. I would love to modify this design into something that I would enjoy wearing more, so something looser, baggier, bigger size, not quite such a like a small Bolero style, but that'll probably be down the line because I'm just ready to be done with this. I'm trying to revitalize my business model, how I spend my time, and trying to find better balance and figuring out what I really want to do. And part of that is finishing up this last custom order so I can be done with that segment of my business that hasn't been worth the time and money for me to do. So that's what's going on with this. I have my own homemade stitch marker. It's a cute little peach out of polymer clay. Love it. I would love to experiment some more with polymer clay and make some more stitch markers because I do really enjoy other people's artistic creations out of polymer clay, and I find it a fun medium to work in. And so let me know if you'd be interested in some cute little peaches. I'd probably do some color shading, probably some different color combination, just a little bit. Try to make it a little bit more realistic looking. I don't know, let me know what you think. So those are like my two tasky things I had to share. I've got lots of exciting things to talk about. So first and foremost, I wanted to share with you my progress on the Reverie socks. Ta-da! Oh, the short row heel, it always flattens out, kind of weird. And I haven't blocked the sock. Okay, take two. Ta-da! Reverie sock! Ah, I did it! I finished my first Reverie sock. You can see it's got this really cool like 1x1 color work throughout the sock. This is in Daisy Stitch Co., a couple of mystery skeins that I purchased. And what's really cool about this is that it's got a garter stitch short row heel, which is kind of new. I really like the funky color work and the mix of these two colors. If you look closely, the speckles in the off-white color match the saturated colors in the variegated skein. And so they're really good complements for each other, even if they are, I would say that maybe I wouldn't recommend doing speckles for this kind of color work design just because of the 1x1 color work. I think it gets a little bit muddy, but honestly it looks really good. So I would say not a perfect choice, but a really good choice matching these two colors together in this type of a color work project. And I'm sure I'll have more yarn left over so I can try to do something else color work wise with them. I think that they serve a really good contrast together, but maybe something that's a little bit more bold and less linear because these lines sometimes get a little bit muddied. I don't know, tell me what you think. I think that it's a pretty good match, but probably not perfect. I think just like a plain white might show the color work a little bit more. I've showed it before, but I love how the baubles work in this variegated color because it makes it into like a rainbow fade. So cool. I love it. And so that's what I focused on. I tried to finish the first sock so that I didn't have both socks attached to the yarn at the same time. I haven't worked on the second sock at all, but just a reminder where I'm at with that. I'm about to start the color work right before the heel. Thereby Field Wonderful, Allison Lutz, and this pattern is in Pom Pom Magazine issue 40. Myself and my friend Jessica of JS Threads 14 are hosting a knit along. Yay! The Summer Dreams Cal, and it ends the first day of summer, so June June 21st, so you still have a few weeks. All you need to do is make something from this issue of Pom Pom Magazine. It's their spring issue, and use the hashtag. If you finish the project, then you'll be eligible for prizes. You can learn more about that and knit along. Ask any questions down below, of course, but definitely you can reach out to either myself or Jessica on Instagram to ask more questions about the knit along, and we would love to have you. We are organizing a prize package. I'm going to make some stitch markers. Jessica is going to dye a skein of yarn is the plan right now. We would love to have you participate. There are so many beautiful designs in this magazine, especially this issue, and so we wanted to host this knit along and have some fun knitting on it. So I'm really happy with how those are going. I haven't worked on them in a little bit, actually. Probably like a week. I should probably sit down with them again to work on them. I'm really happy with how they're going, and I've been learning some new things. They're definitely outside of my comfort zone, but it's really fun and I've been really enjoying it. I'm going to transition into another pair of socks that I'm working on. I'm feeling all the sock fever right now. I think with summer sock camp coming up, and I know sock week is coming, and other people are hosting sock make-alongs and knit-alongs this time of year. Socks are on the brain for the summer. I volunteered to do a pattern test. This is, I'll show you my finished one because I already finished one of the socks. This is the First Bloom sock. This is the First Bloom sock by Bolero and Cades. Look at this beautiful texture for this flower. That is so, so cool. It was really interesting and fun to work up to. So this sock is mostly vanilla sock. It is toe up, and it includes a German short row heel, which is new to me, which has been really fun to be able to grow my skills that way. This side looks pretty good. This side has something weird going on with my short row. Something off with my tension, maybe. I am really loving this. The yarn I'm using is Sorel yarn. It's an Oopsie that I bought a long time ago. Like over a year ago probably. And I had some extra yarn after working on my husband's socks. I haven't said this yet. This is definitely not for me. This is for my daughter Georgia. She's 18 months. This is a size 2 48 stitch count, so it's a little big on her, but not by too much. She'll grow into it, and it's fine. Socks are meant to be cozy, so it can be a little big on her. So I have finished the first sock, and the second sock I just finished the heel. So I'm really I'm really close to finishing this pattern test. So I'll definitely have a finished pair to show you for the next podcast. This has been really fun to work on as my daughter's getting bigger and her socks are getting bigger. It's not as fun to knit socks for her because they don't work up as fast. It was really nice knitting socks for her when she was itty bitty and I could finish them in like an afternoon. That was really fun. I miss those days. Speaking of knitting something for my daughter who is little and pattern tests, so this is like, they go hand in hand. This pattern test I showed last time and I was still on the yoke, so it is progressing along quite well. This is the Petite Soufflé by Penrose Knits. I can show it all on camera. It's so cute. Oh my goodness. I'm making the 1 to 2 year size. You see I've finished the body and I finished the ruffle. So freaking cute. So freaking cute. I need to do there's an I-cord edging for the neckline, and I've done some I-cord things before, but not an applied I-cord edging, and so it's a little bit of a new skill for me. So I have not started that. I want to do it when my daughter is not around to distract me or pull my needles out or whatnot, but I can really sit down, focus, practice a little bit, and then I should be fine and get the hang of it to do it all the way around. Super cute. And then the arms. I've got them on stitch holders, some knitting barber cords. I've marked the center of my armpit. These are denim and rain fibers stitch markers. They're made out of resin. I really enjoyed working on this. I really admire Laura of Penrose Knits. I definitely think you should go follow her here on YouTube. She's got an awesome Instagram. I love her style and her designs, and I'm very honored that I get to test this pattern. I was able to do a fold over hem for the first time, and that was an interesting experience. This is my first time doing it, so I think I need to do it 1 or 2 more times before I give a verdict on it. I do like a ribbing, but this is nice in that it is straight, but it also gives it some weight to kind of help the entire thing lay flat. It does have a nice little finished edge. It was a little bit of a pain to make sure I put it in the right spot. Like I folded over and put it in the right row when I was knitting it together to bind off. It was a little bit of a pain, But I think I did a pretty good job. It's folding up a little bit in the back, but I think blocking is going to help. It was easy, I should say. It was an easy skill to learn, but it was a little tricky to make sure I liked how it looked. Definitely requires some practice to make sure that you're, putting it in the right spot, but I think it looks pretty good. Learning lots of new things with this, with the I-cord that I'll be doing and the folded over hem. The ruffle was really fun to do, and I'm really glad I was doing the smallest size because the ruffle didn't take that long. It was still fun by the time I finished it, which I don't know if the same could be said if you were doing like an adult size ruffle that big. So those are the 2 test knits that I have going on. They both have deadlines coming up really soon, so I should have both finished by next podcast, which will be fun to show. But then I have a couple of fun projects. So my hair is a little bit messed up. I took a shower right before this because my daughter finally went down for a nap, and so yeah, it is what it is. A couple fun projects that I want to share because I've just started. So this is on my Make 9. I'll make sure to link my video talking about my Make 9 list up above. But this is the No Frills by Petite Knit. Doesn't look like too much, but I have done the ribbing and I did the short rows shaping. Ta-da! Yay! It looks way better when it's laying flat. And my needles are just scrunching up, so it's hard to show. I'm using Knit Picks palette in the color Ice Lily, is like a mauvey purple color. And then I'm using Malintosh Impressions in the color New Moon, which has these beautiful like greens, blues, purples, and mauve. It'll be really interesting to see how it works up when I'm doing rounds. The reason I haven't done more on it is because I'm now starting the raglan, and I have to do like 30 raglan increases or something. This pattern uses make one right and make one left to increase, which is an increase I am not as familiar with as far as reading my knitting goes. And I'm expanding my skills, right? But still learning a lot. And I can read my rows a lot easier if there's like a yarn over or even like a knit front back. Sometimes I have an easier time reading my rows than a make one left or a make one right. Just from the amount of times I've done it, not very much. I wanted to be able to like sit down, work on the raglan increases when I could mark down how many I've done until I'm comfortable being able to count my knitting rows and like not have to worry about missing a row or miscounting or anything. I'm sure that's something that I'll get more comfortable with as I practice, but I have a hard time reading my knitting when it involves make one lefts and make one rights. Like which row was the increase on versus which row did I just knit afterwards. I have a little bit of a hard time, so I'm sure that practice will make perfect, and I want to make sure to do the raglan increases when I can mark that off so that I don't have to worry about doing too few or too many raglan increases. I just need to sit down and get started. I think I'm a little intimidated and I should just do it because it's something I can do. I can do it. I guess one thing with the short rows is that I modified the pattern a little bit. With the short rows, you go back and forth and do make one lefts, make one rights. But on the purl side, it still says to make one lefts and make one rights in the same way that you did on the knit side. And in my brain, I felt like that would look wrong because then on the right side of the fabric, it would be a purl, if that makes sense. So I actually looked it up and I found out how to make one left, make one right purl-wise so that on the right side of the fabric, it still looks like a knit stitch increase, which I'm really proud of myself for doing that. That's not how the pattern is written, but it's just a little thing, but it made a difference to me, and I'm glad that even though I have a lot more to learn as far as knitting goes, that logically I was able to think like, oh, okay, maybe I should figure out how to do this purl-wise so that my increases can look proper on the right side of the fabric, even if it's only, you know, that much space on the back of my neck, you know, but I am happy with it, and it was not as hard as I thought it would be. And so thinking about making a little tutorial on make one rights, make one lefts as I am getting more comfortable with it because I've learned quite a bit about it. Another project that I very recently started, this is going to be my vanilla knitting for a while, I think. This is airplane. This is my Peekaboo Maxi Skirt by Knititude. I know, it's not very much. I started it yesterday. I finally got the right needle size on Saturday from my local yarn store, and I finally was able to cast on last night after my gauge swatch dried. I could make sure I was using the right needles. Ta-da! So yeah, I've got like an inch or so of it. It's a top-down skirt. I'm working on the waistband right now. Super easy. I am alternating my skeins. And I'm using the easy alternator method that Nicole of Prof Pearl shared on her YouTube channel. So I'll put the link down below. It's a really easy way to alternate your skeins of yarn when you alternate every row so that you don't have a seam created by your yarn on either the knit or the purl side, which is really neat. And it really is super easy. It's just as easy as like dropping your yarn and picking up your other strand and knitting it. It's just where you place your yarns in relation to each other that make it not have a seam. This color, I'll pull out the yarn. This is English Garden. It is by Winnie Jo Fiber Co. and the Squish DK base. I think she just got married, but she did a mini collection with some earring stitch markers, this, and then a coordinating tonal for this collection, and I bought some and I love it. It's so beautiful. I am really excited to see how it works up. I think that this skirt, even though it's not like a solid color, definitely got some variation and some speckling and whatnot, that it's gonna be really beautiful and perfect for spring and summer, which is why I cast it on. In my last podcast, I asked what you guys thought I should work on next, since I had lots and lots of plans for other summer projects, mostly knits, but some crochet too. I'm just loving knits right now. And I decided to cast on this because I really do need more skirts in my wardrobe, and I think that this is the perfect coloring for spring and summer, and so hopefully I can finish this somewhat soon so that I can wear it and enjoy it for a few months before the weather is getting cold and I'm feeling more of the moody saturated colors for the fall. I think that this is going to work really great in my wardrobe. These colors so pretty and I love them, and this is just a lot of vanilla knitting, which will be really nice to work on, and because it's DK weight, it's working up pretty quick already. It's always exciting to have a new project, especially with some beautiful hand-dyed yarn. I shouldn't let all these new projects distract me from my find your fade that I need to work on, but it might distract me a little bit, probably a lot of it. I need to spend like 30 minutes a day working on my Find Your Fade just to work on it and make sure that I get it done. Let me know your tips down below for working on your long-standing whips that you just are having a hard time finding time for it. Let me know, because I need all your tips. This very last whip was completely unplanned, completely spontaneous, and it is bringing me a lot of joy. It's been so fun. If you haven't heard, there is a knit along going on hosted by Sarah Shira. She makes a ton of really cute knitted gnome patterns. I'll pop up a few pictures because they're just so cute. She is doing a knit along called Make Gnome Mistake with a little gnome named Gnocchi. Sorry, this is like a tongue twister to share. It is still going on, so big spoiler alert if you are participating in this mystery knit along and you do not want to see mine that is in progress, I am caught up on most of the clues at this point, then skip to this time so that you can not see. There's your big spoiler warning. Let me show you what I've worked on. Basically what happened is I was scrolling through Ravelry's hot list. What is it? I was scrolling through Ravelry's patterns, just starting from like the most popular right now. Is there hot right now? I was scrolling through their hot right now list instead of doing something I was supposed to be doing, like editing a YouTube video or something, and I saw that there was this mystery gnome along, and I admired these patterns by Sarah Shira and been thinking about knitting a gnome. I just think they're really cute, and I just hadn't done it yet, and seeing this mystery, I wasn't in the mood to cast on, so I just bought the pattern and cast it on. I started after the knit along had already started, actually, which is kind of funny. They just pulled me in. These are my colors that I chose, though I think I might change this one. These are all Sorella yarn. These two are from her Taylor Swift collection, Ivy and Cardigan, that I've used in countless projects, mostly socks, and I haven't used them up yet. And then this is an Oopsie, It's the same color I'm using for my First Bloom sock test. And I was gonna do these 3 colors for my gnome. I know these contrast really well. And then this, the problem is I feel like this is more cool toned and these are definitely more warm toned. So I think I might look around and see if there's another warm toned color that I would like to mix in and take this one out. I'll show you what I mean. I just don't feel like I'm liking how it looks, but I'm loving how the other 2 colors are. I started this pattern and there's a colorwork hat is what you start off with, and it's got a mushroom on it. It's so cute. This color design was really fun to work up. I really do enjoy color work. It was so fun to work up, and in a lot of ways it was pretty intuitive, so I could look at my knitting, look at the chart, and not have to, you know, count my stitches as much, but just kind of see where the stitches were in relation to one another. It's the same on the front and the back. Super cute. This cute little gnome hat. Towards the end, it was like 12 o'clock at night, but I just wanted to finish because I was like an inch away from the top, and so I just kind of forgot about tensioning my yarn well, and so I like pulled the stitches way too tight, so it won't open any more than that. Like, this is all just, it's flat. Because I pulled my colorwork stranding too tight. Oops. Sarah Shearer says in her pattern, like, wonkiness is gnominess. And so it's fine. It's fine. It'll be cute. Maybe it'll be like a little flop over tip or something. I don't know. It's fine. The rest of it, I think my tensioning was pretty dang good. I've already blocked my hat. And then the clue that came out yesterday was to do a fringed beard. And this is really what got me thinking that maybe I need to switch that green oopsie color. This is the beard. Super cool. She's got a YouTube video to teach you the technique. Really neat. But I don't really like how this green is. It's just like too blue, too cool. So I'm gonna look and see. I might redo the beard in a different color. It'll still be the white, but then it'll be a different color. I gotta see what I've got. I've got lots of yarns to choose from. So maybe I'll have to wind up something I haven't knit from yet, just so I can get a color combo that I like a little bit better than this. Let's see, what's a good contrast for green? Is like a red or a pinky color, maybe? So we'll see. I don't know. The last clue comes out this coming Sunday, so just a couple days after this video will come out. So there's actually not that much left. A clue came out this morning and I haven't worked on it yet. But this was just a fun, spontaneous project, and the hat has brought me a lot of joy, and the beard was something fun and new and different, and I'm looking forward to see how the rest of this gnome turns out. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a different beard. Ho, ho, ho. So that's my last whip, actually. Alright, yarn goodies! Let's share some things that I've gotten in the mail. So fun. I actually forgot to say last podcast, but in my box of knit picks things that I got lots of different yarns, mostly for knitting socks for my family and for an upcoming video that I have, as well as for a souffle. But I also got Cool Crochet for Warm Days by Janine Miska of Knits and Knots. So super cool. I knew that this was like a little pamphlet booklet thing, but it's a heavy duty, like, quality pamphlet booklet, like magazine thing. So there are 5 designs in here. Super cute. Let me show you. Couple cute wraps and a couple patterns that I don't think I would not wear as is, but I love the elements of them and can definitely see myself modifying these patterns to fit me and my style and my modesty level, whatnot. So really excited about that. I'll leave an affiliate link down below. I am a new affiliate and I would love, love, love your support at no extra cost to you. I get commission for people who buy through my links, and so that is a really easy way to support me by buying things you already would be buying from Knit Picks or We Crochet. But then all the rest of my goodies are yarn related, but I've got a few. All this yarn is pre-order yarn, and so it's hard to tell when it would come my way. These are all the things I was like impatiently waiting for to come my way. This is Sorella yarn from their Knitflix collection. This is Everything is Fine. Blowing out just a little bit because that bright, bright yellow. It's a nylon sock because I have a hard time resisting a beautiful colorway on a sock skein, because it's an easy way to support makers that I love. I love knitting socks too, and it's more economical than knitting a sweater out of all of my favorite yarns, because that's a lot of yarn. This beautiful color, it's like a raspberry lemonade, strawberry lemonade, beautiful like pinky beigey color, and then this really vibrant yellow. It's more vibrant than I thought it would be, but I do still like it. I think it'll work up really pretty. Everything's Fine is based off of The Good Place, which is one of my favorite series. I love Kristen Bell. I just really love, I guess, the dichotomy in The Good Place between it's a comedy and it's funny. There's lots of really like quirky things going on, but then also there are some kind of deep discussions on morality and doing what's right, and I just find there's a lot of meaning behind what's in the show, even though there's also a lot of laughs too. And so I really enjoy it, and it's given me pause to think about the things that I believe, my morality, how I look at other people and their own version of morality, because I think everyone's personal morality is different, and that's why we make different choices sometimes. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I think it's the way things are. And so giving me lots to think about, even though it's been something funny that I love to watch. And so I love the show, and I love the warm colors in this, so I wanted to make sure to grab that. But I have a problem. I'm running out of space in my sock cubby, so I need to start making more socks, I think is the moral of the story. Speaking of more sock yarn, one of these skeins will be for socks, but I also am planning on making a hat. So I ordered from Coast to Coast Yarn from their mushroom pre-order that they just had. These are the colors I ordered. This one is Brittle Gill. This purple tonal is Earthen. And this one is Polypore. I guess she did a club with mushroom-inspired colorways and then brought them all back for this pre-order, and it went nuts. When she did the calculations, she found that it would take her 24 to 28 weeks to finish all her orders. That's like half a year. Oh my gosh. I was having a hard time deciding between these two colors. I enjoyed them both. They've got purples. This one definitely has more like greeny earth tones in it, and this one is a little bit more cool toned, I think. There's still some of that like greeny earth tones, but not nearly as much. And there's cooler purples, and this is warmer dark purples like an eggplant. But I knew that I wanted to pair one of these with this tonal in order to make a Harlow hat, or some kind of a brioche fingering weight hat. I would love something that's a little bit more interesting stitch wise than the Harlow hat. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. But if not, I think I'd be happy with the Harlow hat as well. But I was gonna do a pairing, but I wasn't sure which variegated one to do, so I decided to get both, figuring that whichever one I don't want to use for my hat, I will make a pair of socks out of it, because I do enjoy them both. And in looking at all of them and comparing, I think I'm going to use this for the hat. I also think there's more contrast in this variegated, but I think that the purples match a little better. And then I'm going to use Brittle Gill for a pair of socks. That is the plan. Harlow hat, but maybe a different brioche hat if I can find one that I really, really like. But I also think you can't go wrong with a Harlow hat. And then my last little yarn package. This is from Dying Wishes Yarn, who is a very new dyer. She just did her first full pre-order. This is Encanto inspired yarn, and I got the color La Casita. It's got this really beautiful pinky background color with some neon green specks. There's a little bit of purple, blue, green, pink. Oh, so fun. Such a beautiful variegated. And her sock base, this is fingering weight, her sock base is a 75-25, so a little bit thinner than I have worked with mostly. I'm really excited to see how these work up. I have a plan for a crochet top design out of these. There are not very many fingering weight crochet tops, and so I have an idea, and I'm going to make it out of this yarn. I also got some yarn from her next collection because I have a design I'm working on with her yarn, with her in conjunction with that release. So keep an eye out. I will not be able to show that until the pre-order collection has been announced and those yarn colorways have been shown. but I have that coming soon. It is also a fingering weight shawl that is crochet, and it uses some short rows and some shaping and has alternating sections of close stitches and lacy sections. And so it'll be really interesting. I'm really excited about it. I'll be doing a testing call right around the time when she reveals those colorways, which is really, really exciting. I'm so excited. I've never done a collaboration with a dyer before, and so this is my first time doing it, and I really like Sarah and what she stands for with her business, and I think that she's got a lot of talent in dyeing, and I would love to share her yarn more with everyone. So that is all my yarn goodies. Just some beautiful skeins of yarn that I'm really excited to work with in hopefully the near future. As far as dreams and plans and goals and things, I did mention that I want to work on my business plan and focusing in more on what I want my business to be. I just participated in the Crochet Business Summit by the Crochetpreneur. She hosted this free summit, and it was really nice that I could watch these seminars, like 20 to 30 minute seminars about different topics. And so I've gotten lots of new ideas on things that I want to do for my business and things that I want to do to improve my business. And so I'm looking forward to implementing some of those things and putting more of a distinction between my hobby craft and my business craft, and making decisions to help grow my business side of my craft specifically, and kind of just delineating those things. I definitely want to get into more designing, and so I need to balance my time between fun projects and things that kind of stretch my brain, my skills a little bit more. Hopefully you'll see within the next few months some changes. I might even do a rebrand just to kind of improve what this business is and the direction that it's heading in. My goal. So that's kind of like big goals and dreams. As far as projects, got a couple tests that are coming to a close soon, a couple really fun projects, a couple designs coming up, lots of exciting things. And so I don't think I'm going to cast on anything else new. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll start another pair of fun socks because I need to clear out this cubby. It is overflowing. I can't fit any more yarn, so I need to make room for more yarn in this cubby. Let me know what you're working on, what new things you have in mind. If you're working on any of the patterns that I've worked on, I think that would be so fun to connect with you over some of these designs. I'm really excited to hear about what you're making, so let me know down below. Let me know if you'd want to hear more from me about non-yarny things. Do you want to hear about what books I'm reading? What I'm watching on YouTube, how I'm spending time with my toddler? Let me know if you want to know all the things, or if those other things are best to be in vlog style videos that I have on my channel outside of podcasts. Let me know what you want to see from me. I know that I've been leaning into the sock content lately with my non-podcast videos, and I know more will be coming, but I do want to spend some more time on other topics too, so let me know what you would like to see from me. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Bye. Happy making.